It's a pleasure for me to introduce you today to our topic and our speakers. We have a great set of panelists for our topic, which is digital transformation of the manufacturing sector in UK. We have 4 great speakers that have worked in a research project in the UK to understand what's the level of maturity, which are the challenges, what are organizations doing implementing digital technologies in their manufacturing process. So we have most of all heard about these technologies. They are becoming very important for organizations, machine learning, artificial intelligence, sensors, blockchain, and so on. And these technologies will definitely impact organizations and also all of us in our daily lives, in the day we work, in the day we operate. I just wanted to highlight, many companies are talking about digital transformation, and we will learn more about what is that. Just a very quick introduction. Digital transformation is actually changing and defining a strategy, changing also the skills, the culture of organization to adopt and adapt the technologies to their needs. And the Industry 4.0 are the set of technologies which Dr. Ahmed will also present today. These technologies that are applied in different processes to accelerate and to make more efficient the organization. So digital transformation requires an innovative vision, looking for opportunities to change and improve processes. It requires an action plan to transform the business, and of course, collaborative ecosystems, because it's quite hard for an organization to have all the knowledge and experience to apply successfully this technology. So having said that, it's a pleasure for me to have this group of 4 gentlemen who have collaborated in this project.
So the issue is why we started this project. I approached Alec really in order to collaborate with this, and that was the argument. You see, Industry 4.0 enabling technology is making a revolution, and that is supporting all the digital transformation in manufacturing, and one of its name called the manufacturing of the future. Several studies showing that is the application of these type of technologies will increase the GPT around 1%. All the companies that we participated with them in this project and other project, actually we have another project now with Mirna, Dr. Mirna Flores, all of them, they are interested in the subject. They either started as initial stage of their transformation journey, or they already have a plan for it. And that is what we are saying here in point 4, these conventional manufacturing processes need to be replaced by smart manufacturing technologies, by employing all those enabling technologies of Industry 4.0, such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, digital twins, and so on and so forth. This is what is called the cyber-physical system, which lead to emerging of smart factories, as well as the production of the smart product. So one of the questions is, which of the following are the main driver toward your digital transformations? As you can see here, there's several of them, like it's evolving, the customer demand, to support the innovations, to be excellent in the work, the agility, of course, saving costs and time, better service, and so on and so forth. The other question is, which of the following is essential element of the Industry 4.0? An interesting fact I want to mention to you that is most of the company, and let's say most of the company, they do not have a specific framework for their Industry 4.0. They don't have a specific digital transformation process to follow. So these are lack of work that need to be addressed really. So anyway, which of the following is an essential element of the Industry 4.0? As you can see, they mention all of them: Internet of the Things, smart sensor, artificial intelligence, big data analytics, digital twin, and so on and so forth. But interesting things, for example, you see in the blockchain, there's not a lot of tension in it, as well as in autonomous robotics. There is interest in automation, but here in autonomous robotics, there's not much of attention. But all of that depends because about the need and applications.
Of the research that the Cranfield team did, what we're seeing, if I could summarize the outputs of all of the questions that Ahmed and the team put together, that Ahmed's just taken us through, what we saw is that actually 36% of the firms that we spoke to are actually still at an early stage when it came to digital transformation. And in fact, 56% are still taking what we would call a piecemeal approach to various initiatives. And in fact, only 5% said that they were at a mature level when it came to implementation and adoption of Industry 4.0. So I think what I'd like to throw out there is that although some of the technologies that underpin Industry 4.0 or digital transformation are relatively mature and have moved forward at pace, particularly in the last 5 years, what we're seeing is that the companies and the strategies that are actually leveraging these technologies are in fact not. I think a lot of companies are still stuck in what we would call the pilot trap, where they're trying to prove benefits and they're trying to prove return on investment, but can never actually leverage it at scale. Many companies, I think, don't trust the technology, and there are many reasons behind that. So that's really what I wanted to look at now. Again, if I were to summarize all of this in two areas that we see, I would really focus on, and particularly the feedback that I get from many clients that I work with, is this idea of return on investment is actually quite difficult to quantify. And I think a lot of companies tend to focus on a traditional return on investment in the way that they would with any other strategic initiative that they work on. That means that there's a predefined expenditure and then there's a predefined and expected return over a defined time period. Normally that's 6 months. And what we've learned with these type of emerging technologies and Industry 4.0 in particular is that often the return on investment needs to be far more balanced across a holistic view of what return actually means. It may be tangible, but it may also be intangible. So there are areas that are impacted by this type of technology, such as attracting more talent to an organization, retaining that talent in the firm, looking at how it can help with customer retention and really becoming customer-centric as an organization. And another thing that we see is often when data maturity improves and these initiatives start to actually hit the front line of a company, KPIs can get worse. The better your data, often initially the KPIs that you're using get worse because they become more accurate. And all these things can detract from the initial strategic objective, which needs to be holistic.
Actually, for Rolls-Royce, we've been dealing with digital, probably starting in 1960, with the development of Concorde, where we're looking at things like CFD, FE analysis, and actually developing the code for that. We're looking at control systems and measurement systems. And all those elements are actually quite key to what's actually we're doing at the moment on this current digital revolution. But in terms of what it means to the organisation, it's actually becoming essential to our organisation. With the need to really understand what we're making. We create hundreds of digital models of the parts and the systems and the subsystems, etc. We need to really understand how those parts are behaving. And if we do understand how they're behaving, then we can actually make reliable, effective, and products that provide us with profit. We're at the stage now actually where our customers are actually demanding that we move towards digital. They're actually providing us with digital requirements, in terms of model-based systems engineering. So we can't just pull out of digital as such. We have to really fully embrace it. So I suppose at the end of the day, if we don't move fast enough towards digital, our products and our factories are going to suffer. That close coupling of the real world and the virtual world is actually really important now, more important than ever.
similar to Jon, it's very difficult to define digital transformation. It's an ongoing process that we're all learning, and I think COVID has definitely changed that as well and accelerated it in some ways. Obviously, in manufacturing, which is my background, we haven't been able to work from home, and I think looking at ways of monitoring manufacturing and supporting manufacturing remotely is definitely accelerated. So in terms of defining digital transformation, it's very difficult. But I'd say in my career to date so far, it's definitely becoming more important on the shop floor. And we've always had lots of data, but there's still more data that can help you make informed decisions. You've got your metrics such as OEE, efficiency, productivity, all of those manufacturing metrics can be made a lot more accurate through the use of digital transformation. And there's lots of different ways to do it. And the technology is relatively quite simple in terms of what's used to capture that data and that information. It's just the time it takes to put it all together and then extract useful information from it.
So it's about data gathering, data analysis, data sharing, and learning and using forecasting. So that's what you have experienced so far?
Yeah, 100%. I think being able to, because everyone thinks of manufacturing as might have lots of new machines everywhere, but we still have a lot of old machines that are still more than capable, that don't need replacing, but they need retrofitting with capabilities to support digital manufacturing. I think also there's a lack of awareness of that retrofitting capability. If you buy a brand new machine, then of course they're all lined up for Industry 4.0 and digital transformation, but a lot of the older equipment can be relatively easy retrofitted to also support that.
To thank everyone, of course, first of all, the four speakers to participate in this Cappuccino Talk, to share their experience. We'll have a summary, an executive summary, which we will share to all the audience and also in LinkedIn. Roundtable, so we'll have that session in Cranfield if the coronavirus allows within 1 month from now, the 21st of September, in Cranfield University at 3 p.m. and we will be inviting different speakers, also very knowledgeable with different cases from almost that 11-12 years from experience from Ahmed and his team on Lean Pro development. So that was it from me. Thank you all for participating.